Robert Downey Jr. dons the Iron Suit for perhaps the last time in Iron Man 3. So how does this movie hold up with the previous Marvel films? Well, I'll give you my review coming right up. The blockbuster season of 2013 has officially kicked off with Robert Downey Jr.'s latest superhero outing, Iron Man 3. Hello, I'm Rob. Iron Man 3 is a little bit different from the previous films, and it's probably the most cerebral and darkest of them all, and based on what I have seen so far with comments, perhaps the most polarizing. After the events of the Avengers, Tony Stark is going through a personal anxiety crisis where he's losing sleep, and he's building more iron suits, which causes some friction with his girlfriend, Pepper Potts, played once again by Gwyneth Paltrow. But things get worse when he goes up against a terrorist enemy known as the Mandarin. He's played by Ben Kingsley, and after Stark makes some very snide remarks, he finds his personal world destroyed, and for the first time in quite a while, he's forced to survive on his personal instincts. The movie also features Guy Pearce and Rebecca Hall, who play people from Stark's past in this film. And Iron Man 3 was written and directed by Shane Black, who also directed Robert Downey Jr. in a film noir comedy called Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. This deliberate-paced third entry for me was a little bit more of a mystery thriller, taking surprising twists and turns that I didn't see coming, and it's also obvious in a change in filmmaker that the film definitely goes in a much different direction from the previous film. For example, gone are the screwball comedy dialogue, although the film does retain some humor, and the film seems to be, in my opinion, seems to be taking its cues more from the recent Batman films, where the settings were a little more realistic and current, and the villains were not these comic book super villains. I mean, in this case, the villain were terrorists. The previous films did not take place on planet reality, but they took place in a comic book world, which were fun action popcorn flicks. And also, Stark becomes obsessed with his own suits and technology, and he's just not spending enough time with his girlfriend in this film. The action scenes and explosions are not the main focus of this film, so if you're going in there expecting a whole lot of it like in the Avengers or in the previous Iron Man films, you might be a little bit disappointed. I mean, there are some action scenes, but they only pop up here and there. But when they do come, they are breathtaking, and the special effects in these films are definitely up to Marvel's excellent standards. I liked how the Avengers were only referenced here and there instead of, being, banged over your head over the whole time, and I liked how this one was just simply a standalone film. I do think that there are some die-hard comic book fans who might be a little bit disappointed with this film, and there's also a twist that I think people are going to find either funny or they're going to feel incredibly ripped off over, and I also found a few annoying plot holes, but as a moviegoer, I definitely thought this was much better than the second Iron Man film, but not quite as good as the first. But still, I did enjoy this movie. I thought it was a breath of fresh air from some of the other Marvel films, so I give it a see it in theaters rating. And if you have not seen Iron Man 3 yet, stay after the credits. Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and open the floor to you. If you have seen Iron Man 3, post your comments, or if you have any feedback for the video, go ahead and post that. And if you haven't done so already, perhaps you would like to consider being a subscriber to R&B Reviews, where we give introspective reviews of movies in theaters and DVD. Thank you very much for watching. The film has a theme that is relevant today and will hit home for many people, including discrimination and equal rights, in addition to being a very good movie for baseball fans. 42, I think, will also be a very excellent crowd pleaser and family film for all ages. The characters and situations, like I said, are relevant today. It's very well shot and directed, and there's on the edge of your seat suspense as well as warm, gentle humor intertwined with satirical jabs. I think the film's theme of breaking out of your comfort zone to try new things, as well as the theme of being a family and looking out for one another, will really hit home to many people. But personally, I just did not find The Croods to be all that memorable. I mean, I think The Croods is definitely going to be very entertaining for kids. I mean, the kids were laughing in my screening room a lot. It seemed to me a little bit more than good. I think if you go in expecting a big action fest, you might be disappointed. It's not a perfect science fiction film. There are other science fiction films I think did a better job with some of these elements, like Moon, for example. And there's a romantic scene between Tom Cruise and Andrea Riseborough that to me kind of felt like it was awkwardly just put in there just for the sake of it. But I think this will definitely be a good time at the theater. I thought the film was entertaining, so for that, I'm going to give this movie a see it in theaters rating.